framing accessorize your property better? How does custom framing contribute to the overall value or increasing the value of your property or something of that nature?
I'm preserving art or something like that.
Yeah. So what I mean, when you tell people what are the reasons for them to come to your business, you know, increasing value or whatever, so then you have an ebook on how to do that, or why it does it, or what are the best ways to do it, or you share how much it increases it. So even some of this information that you're telling people every time you meet them, you might simply have an ebook about that. So by the time they get to you, they're well versed in that stuff.
So are you suggesting not only they have like an ebook, but also like a blog on your website that you constantly?
I suggest that, yes. Yes.
And I went to a seminar over the weekend, and they said case studies are always good, like real life examples of customers who came in that might have, in your case, Donna, they might have had a picture or a piece of art that was damaged. I don't know if you do restoration or things like that, but that might be a perfect example of something, how you retain value or something like that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's also a way of saying thanks. They came to you. They came to your website. Here's a gift. Okay. Go ahead.
Can you, with the opt-in product, say your ebook, can you have several on that you can do like an autoresponder, like where they'll go out on certain frequency?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. I'll share that with you. So here's the next thing. So if as you read maybe the description of this workshop, part of it said there's one thing that you can do to help you weed out some tire kickers. Okay, your opt-in freebie helps with that. It's a gatekeeper, and here's what happens: if you add an offer inside of that, the people that really want to talk to you, the people that really are interested in what it is that you're doing, because now they know, okay, I've come past the point of just reading this free stuff. It's time for me to invest. If you add an offer in there, the people that are really interested are not going to be the tire kickers that just call you. They're the ones that are ready to invest in something. Okay? So, adding an offer helps to weed out the tire kickers. All right? Now, we've said this over and over. Before, this was the idea. You wanted to get people just to come to your website. It was the end of the road. They would call you. Now, here's the process. Okay? You've got social media. You engage with them, you talk to them, you get them to know who you are. Print, if you still do print, and you send out postcards, and postcards are still good, by the way. One of the great things, and here's a resource that I didn't put on there. How many of you have heard of this resource called sendoutcards.com? I love sendoutcards.com. It's kind of this thing where online you can do like a handwritten card and you send to a customer, and they feel really special because you know, you thought of them to send them something, and it's really easy and nice. Okay, so that's one print thing that you can use. Word of mouth is still the best thing. Okay, that's when you have to go to somebody's website and you see testimonials, that's kind of sort of what this is. But when people tell others and they are your billboards, that's one of your best forms of advertising still. So all of the point of all of this stuff is to then bring people to your website. So you should have your website on your business card. If you've got a Facebook page, Google Plus page, Twitter account, your website should be in the links of all of those. Okay? If you speak anywhere, if you talk to people, everything that you have should have this website on it. And again, the purpose is different, not just to have people come visit, but again, it's a gateway. Now they're coming to your website because there is something, golly, this thing keeps popping up. There's an offer. There is an opt-in. There's something there of value for them. Okay? So when they come there, now this opt-in, it doesn't have to be the same thing forever and ever and ever. If you decide you want to change your opt-in once a month, that then also increases your value. And you don't have to create new things every month. You might rotate them if you want. Okay? Then once they've opted in, now they go to your mailing list. Okay, so I've got this mailing list, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This is just what you were talking about, the autoresponders. Okay, now here's something, and I haven't written this, but this is a good thing for you to know. In this day and age, where people are totally inundated with information, okay, it takes at least 3 to 5 different touches in different ways for them to pay attention to you, and 6 to 8 touches overall before they will even raise their hand to say, hey, I want to talk to you. Okay? So back in the day, remember what we said? You put up your website, they hit your contact page, they call you. Hey, how you doing? Now, they got to go through all of this stuff. And what happens with a lot of small business owners, they post stuff on Twitter. They post a bunch of stuff on LinkedIn. They post some stuff on Facebook. And they're like, hey, I'm not getting any business. And they get frustrated. You got to go through all of this stuff. You got to keep touching. I mean, every once in a while you hit up on somebody on social media and say, hey, I've seen what you've been doing online. I love what you're doing. Let's touch bases. I want to do business with you. But for the majority of people, you've got to touch them 6 to 8 times at least. And that's on the low end before they're going to raise their hand to say, hey, can we talk? Okay?
And you know, the fact about that is that has not changed.
No.
Because when I got in sales, they told us you got to call the person 6 to 8 times before you answer.
Yeah.
So
But
even though the medium was changed.
well, here's the difference. Here's the difference. If you call somebody 6 to 8 times now, they say you're stalking.
Exactly.
Don't
You
call
might go to jail for
okay?
that.
But
No, what I mean is you don't call them every day.
No.
But you got to make that many contacts
Right.
between somebody that,
right.
before they say, okay,
Right.
let me listen to this one.
Right. But what I'm saying, here's the slight difference in that. Now, it's that you've got to touch them in different ways. Okay? Before, it was you could keep pestering them. But now, what happens is, you pester them, and you calling them, they sit down at their computer, they get somebody else hitting them with something else, they walk out their door, they see a billboard, they're driving on the highway, somebody else, and now businesses are texting people, so somebody texts them. And so you've got to touch them equally in different ways before they're willing to pay attention. Okay, so that, you know, all of those things, and so a lot of business owners, for them, it's frustrating to do all. It seems like a lot. Okay, so here is something that I'll mention. For social media, if you have not picked up a social media management tool, you need to do so. Okay, how many of you are posting on Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus? Okay, are you doing all of them individually?
No, I
What do you
have
use?
social tool. I have social management tool.
What do you use?
I use Hootsuite and
Excellent.
I like Social Ump as well.
Excellent.
That gives Social Ump gives a lot of analytics.
Okay, excellent. I love Social Oomph as well. Social Oomph, SOCIAL, Oomph, OOMPH.com. Okay? Hootsuite, Social Oomph, SOCIAL, OOMPH.com. Okay, I'll give you 2 or 3 others so that you can kind of compare. The other one that you mentioned, Hootsuite. Okay, Hootsuite I love because I can post to my Twitter, I can post to my Google Plus personal page as well as my Google Plus business page. I can post to my Facebook personal profile as well as my Facebook business page, as well as any groups that I'm an admin for on Facebook. So I can post to 10, 12, 15 different places all at once.
That's Hootsuite.
Hoot is in the owls. Hoot, hoot. H-O-O-T. All right? Hootsuite. So those are 2. Here's a third. Buffer. Buffer app. I like using Buffer because what Buffer does is it allows me to schedule or to say that I want to tweet or I want to post updates at 10, 12, 2, and 4. I pick whatever times I want for that day. And I have an app on my phone. If I find an article, I say send it to Buffer, and it puts it in the queue. And whatever time I've scheduled for things to go out, it automatically sends it out at those times.
It's B-U-F-F-E-R.
B-U-F-F-E-R, correct.
.com.
Bufferapp.com. Okay?
A-T or the at sign?
App. A-P.
A, oh, okay.
Okay?
Is that like Social Oomph? I'm sorry, I missed up. You talking about
It's
timing tweets?
something like that. It does a little bit different than Social Oomph. Social Oomph allows you to time it at a specific time based on that specific status update or schedule it at a specific time. Buffer just allows you to schedule the times and then you put things in the queue. Okay? The fourth one is PageModo. PageModo.com. Why I like PageModo? PageModo adds some other things that some of the other social management tools are just beginning to incorporate. It adds suggestions. So if you're a person like me who likes to post quotes and motivational or inspirational things every day, it has some suggestions for things that you can post. And you can just click and it'll automatically schedule it for you. Okay? If you're on Facebook, you've seen these great cover photos that people make and have on their business page or on their personal page. PageModo has an option that allows you to create a cover photo right inside of it as well. You can put that information to use for you. Okay? So again, this, if you don't, if you forget everything else that we talked about today, this thing right here, this process, having a clean and clear understanding of the touch points and the phases that people will need to go through in order to touch bases with you, to raise their hand and say, hey, I want to talk to you. Okay? This is your goal. Okay? And again, remember that your mailing list is goal. So let's finish up here. So 3 things that you should be doing online today. Setting up a mailing list service with at least 6 to 8 autoresponders or touch points. Okay? Why I say 6 to 8? That for me is anywhere from, that's about once a week over the course of 2 months. Okay? And if you have that set up, then you have that on autopilot and you don't have to worry about it. If somebody opts into your list, they're getting an email from you and they're getting the same sequence of emails. And drip campaigns have been around for a long time. Okay? But in this day and age, again, it's really important because if this is a part of your strategy, then that's one less thing that you have to do. And those 6 to 8 touches that we're talking about, this is going to minimize what you personally have to do. Yes, go ahead.
I don't know much about it, but we have constant
Contact. Yeah.
So how do you, I mean, every email that we send out, or advertisement or whatever, is there an auto, I mean, you have to create it.
Well, there's 2 things. So on these services, you've got autoresponder and you've got the newsletter or the campaign. The newsletters are the ones that you physically can schedule and create every time that you need to send out something new. Okay? The autoresponders are a series that you create so that once somebody opts into your list, they automatically get this sequence of emails and you don't have to do anything about it. It's the same sequence that goes to everybody that opts in on your list. So for instance, if today's what? The 8th? Okay? If I opt into your list today, I'm not going to get the emails that you sent to somebody last week Friday. But if I have autoresponders set up, I will get those 8 things. If somebody opts in on the 10th, they're going to get the same 8 things because that's how it's automatically set up.
And you can do this through Constant Contact, the autoresponder?
Yes.
Okay. But I guess you have to develop the content of the automatic emails and it just goes out.
Yes, well, you develop the content, but you also want to have a strategy for what types of emails you're sending or you're setting up in those autoresponders. You don't want it to be just random, hey, I'm Bill, and nice to meet you, thanks for signing up. You want to have purpose behind them. In some of these autoresponders, you may add additional gifts, or if you have more than one opt-in product or downloads, then this is a perfect place to share that information. If you've got videos that you want people to see, if you've got a video series that you want them to see. So in some businesses, they have things that preparation that's good to have before you meet them. Okay? This might be a perfect place to do that.
There's a couple of them that already have the content created for your industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
Would you suggest the autoresponders being informational content? Just
Informational, but I believe that the autoresponder should always have a call to action in them. So what do I mean by that? There should always be something in the autoresponder that you want them to do. Click this button to get more information on this. Read more. Click here to call or to set up an appointment with Jane or have somebody from the office call you. Okay? There should always be a call to action in your autoresponders. Okay? So, number 2 thing to do today, give stuff away. And that's downloads, that's your autoresponder, and not just cheesy, cheap stuff. Give away your best stuff. Let them know, yep, gift card, give away your best stuff. Because what happens, again, you're competing against so many different people. You don't want to go halfway. Because if you give away a Yugo, somebody else is giving away a Bentley. Okay? And who do you think they're going to go to?
Yugo. I mean,
Okay, they're gonna go to the Bentley guy. Now, here's the unfair thing. The Bentley guy may just be giving away a Bentley, and he's got horrible service after that. Okay, but it doesn't matter. That's where they're gonna go first, and then
even you might go to that.
exactly, exactly. Give away your best stuff. The reason that people come to you is not because you're giving away good or bad stuff only. They come because they can't do some of this stuff themselves. And if you give them your best stuff, they might still say, hey, that's really great. I'm so glad you gave it. You're awesome. But
Can I get another one?
But I can't do it by myself. Can you help me? Okay, that's what happens a good portion of the time. Okay. Third thing, personal relationships are important and they're great, but everything should point back to your site and your mailing list. Okay. Again, your mailing list is your goal. And so this whole process, again, having that opt-in, having your blog up, having consistency in those areas, those are some of the places that you're going to continue to get leads, especially if you're keeping that fresh. Okay? So here's a piece of software that I use. I love it, and this is just kind of a tip for me. It's a company that is here in the Washington metro area, Contactual. Okay? How many use a CRM? Okay, you might use it, you might have a company-related CRM, but if you're a small business owner that has, your own systems that you use, I recommend this one. Why I like it is because when I go in, I don't have to worry about who I'm contacting out there. On the dashboard, it's 25 names, who you're supposed to call, who you're supposed to email, who you're supposed to touch bases with. I put people in buckets. It reminds me regularly that I need to contact these people. Okay?
So this is CRM?
It's not exactly a CRM, it functions similarly. It's a contact management tool. Okay? It is, I use Google Apps as my back end for my emails, etc., and this integrates right with that. So as emails or information comes in, as somebody sends me an email, it gets pulled right into this, and I simply bucket it. Okay, so this is a tool that I love. Now, two other things. As I said, as we do all of these things, if there is some help that you need, I want to be able to share with you guys and help you by providing a lifeline. So here's something that I'm doing next week. Geez, I'm kind of messed up. What happens when you transfer from one version of something to another? Okay, I'm doing an online virtual VIP day. Wednesday, I hope you can read that. Wednesday, April 16th, 2014, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, that whole thing about creating websites and it being difficult, it doesn't have to be that difficult. Okay? We can help you put together a WordPress website in 15 to 20 minutes. It doesn't take that long. Okay? The ebook, want to help you create one, not just give you the ideas, but help you create it from scratch to completion in less than 2 hours. Okay, so you will have something to move away with. Okay. Also want you to be able to set up your distribution list in less than 30 minutes, and then give you the content for those 8 emails or 8 autoresponders that I'm recommending, so that, and you can set it up, or we'll help you tweak it for your specific industry. Okay, so that's a full day, and that is myself and my partner. We normally do that for $397, but if you are wanting to jump on board with that today, I'll definitely give that to you for $97. Okay, so that is the online virtual VIP day, and the other thing that I did not put on here, okay, that I want to share with you is, if you have any questions, if you like what I shared today, if you want to connect any further, I have some time. I do strategy sessions with people to help you really figure out where you are in your business and what you need to do to move forward, to set up the life that you want. I kind of believe that my business, I'm not just doing it to do it. I created a life that I want. I've created some dreams, and my business is just a vehicle to help me reach there. And I like to help people do that. So if you go to chatwithrobert.com, you can set up some time with me there, and we can chat for anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes and help you move forward. Okay? Any questions? I'd love to take some questions if you guys have any.
One of the things that I'm seeing a lot now, and we're talking a lot about it, is that with like a website, you have to make sure that it's also adapted to mobile. Because most things are now on phones and things like that.
Yeah. That is why I recommend a WordPress website. There are a lot of different templates you can use, and the word, hopefully you remember this word if you talk to somebody, mobile responsive. Okay, some people will tell you to build a separate website for mobile. I think especially if you're a small business, you don't really need that. There are a lot of different websites or WordPress templates that are mobile responsive, and what that simply means is that the site detects what type of device it's brought up on and adjusts for the screen of that device. Yes.
I was going to say, I think it may depend on what browser your website is connected to, because I noticed with my website, it is mobile responsive with Internet Explorer, but not with Google. So if you were to pull my website up on your phone through the Internet Explorer browser, it would come up fine. Google, it'll be gibberish.
When you say responsive, what do you mean?
Well, to me, responsive means it looks clean,
Okay.
it looks nice when you pull it up through Internet Explorer.
So here's the difference between responsive and
And the links work and so forth.
yeah. So what some websites do is, depending on the device it comes up in the browser using, they may make the information smaller, they may make the information bigger. Mobile responsive doesn't do that. What it does is it shifts the information around so that it's able to show up more cleanly. So I'm not connected to the web here, but if you have, let's say that you have an opt-in box and you have a video on the right-hand side, okay? If you are on, okay, well, it's okay. If you are on a mobile device, if it's a mobile responsive site, instead of it kind of just getting smaller, what will happen is the video will shift down here so that you can then scroll down and see it more easily. So that's mobile responsive is a little bit different than just kind of
Being able to see it.
getting it smaller and being able to see it. Yeah. Okay, so the video, pictures, all sorts of, yeah, it kind of just sets up that way. All right. Any other questions?
Well, I want to definitely partner in business with you, so
Awesome.
I'm gonna pitch something to you, and
Okay.
we'll do some stuff together.
Excellent, excellent.
Is there a contact number?
Yeah, there is actually, if you go to the site, chatwithrobert.com, that's the best way to kind of start the conversation.
That goes to your website.
It goes to my questionnaire page that asks you some questions about your business so that we can set up for conversation. And then after that, it will take you to my calendar to book a time. Okay, so once you book a time, it allows you to put your number in or whatever. I'll see it on my calendar. I'll get confirmation this week. That's another thing I love, systems. I love systems. I hate going back and forth 5 or 6 emails to say, hey, you available on Tuesday? 2? No, no. Are you available Wednesday? No. Just send you the link to my calendar and you booking what works for you. All right. So that's it. That's it. I don't know if you guys have anything else. This is, again, just as much information as we shared today. There is a lot more, and I don't want it would be overwhelming. So, I mean, this one day, 5 hours, getting this stuff done is really goes a long way to setting you up with some of the basic things that you need to get moving. And I think the goal here is getting this completed and getting these completed. You may have a website already. You have these 2 things at the end of your day.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's the term that you use for that website that?
Mobile responsive?
No.
Okay.
It's the one that it's a one pager, and you get to put your email and contact information.
Squeeze page or landing page.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's what you would suggest if you were to create an ebook.
It depends on what you want to happen. It depends on the information that you're trying to get to people. It depends on the behavior that you're trying to evoke from people. I mean, I have an ebook. I'm in the process of changing it, but it's not on the squeeze page. I have an opt-in box on my website. So, you know, the blog is there, the information is there, and then to the right, in a very visible place, it says, hey, do you want more information about 28 days, which is the name of my company? Get the free download about blah, 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 and the name and email information is there. Yeah. So that's another thing. If you don't have an opt-in box on your website, that's something that you really need to get done. If your developer doesn't know anything about opt-in boxes, fire them.
So as a small business person, if I come to you, you would help me put a strategy together for how my online
Yes.
presence should be in all the different areas.
Yes.
And how many hours of consultations can I go through from your experience?
It really depends on the business. It really depends on the business. Some businesses are product-based, and so you kind of need to go through the process of figuring out what's your goal, what's your real product, what are the things that you need to do. You need to have e-commerce involved in that. You need to have an online store. If it's a business that is just service-based, or if you may be, you're selling insurance and things are turnkey already and structured, it may just simply be getting these things in place so that you can now really focus on building your mailing list. And that could take, a month, maybe. And how I work is, if I'm doing one-on-one coaching, it's 4 sessions for the month. And the first couple of sessions are usually, what do you want to build? What's your mindset? What's your goal? What are your dreams? What are you trying to create? And then we go from there. So, yeah, but I mean, I would say start with connecting with me, chatwithrobert.com, setting up a time, and we'll set up a strategy session, time to talk, and we'll figure out what works best.
You know, it's gonna sound whatever, but what is WordPress website?
That's not whatever. That's an awesome question.
Really
WordPress is a content management system, and what that means is that it's an easy way to see and input a lot of different types of information. Any media, any video, any audio, any text. Typically, when you're building websites, you would need to know code. You need to know HTML, PHP, ASP, any of those languages in order to make the website visible on the web. With these websites, the code is already created, and what they do is they create a back end that all you need to do is type in the text or type in the information as if you were typing in a word processing document, and it'll show up in the proper place on the website. Okay, and if you've probably seen these websites. Everybody's seen these. If you're on the web, if you visited a blog, chances are it's a WordPress website. Okay, I mean, they have other content management systems, Joomla, Drupal, they've got a few others, but most people that are doing blogs these days, WordPress is the preeminent one.
That's the correct. Yeah. I know they have a platform that pretty much everything's already created. You just,
Well, Vistaprint is their primary thing is marketing and promotion.
Yeah.
So what they have baked into that is they bake in little places for people that are small business owners that are just starting out to get a presence on the web. GoDaddy does that, a few other places do that. Google has Google Sites that you can just, but I mean, for me, it doesn't really make much sense to do that. If you're going to get on the web, if you're going to build your business, I recommend buying a domain name, and they're cheap these days. You can get domains from GoDaddy.com. There's a website called Namecheap.com. A lot of them, you can get domains starting anywhere from $3 up to $17 for a year. Yeah, so I recommend getting a domain name, getting hosting. I recommend Bluehost to people. There are a lot of others. HostGator, there are quite a few others, but I've used Bluehost for about 8 years and have had no issues with them. And hosting is going to run you anywhere from $3.95 per month up to about $8 per month. So anywhere between 60 to 80 or 90 bucks for the year. So 90 bucks for the year will get you a website. If you have any technical capability at all, you can just choose a WordPress theme, add the proper information in video or images into it, and you can pretty much, in the space of a couple of hours, have a solid WordPress website going, and you paid $100 maybe for your domain and your hosting, and you've got a solid place to start. And if you have a blog in that, you set up your MailChimp is you use Constant Contact for your business. MailChimp is another mailing list service that starts as free, and you can have that for free up to 2,000 subscribers. Okay, so my friend over here couldn't use it for free. Okay,
I do.
you do?
Yeah.
For free?
for free.
Ooh, you gotta tell me the
But
secret.
Three different
Only,
listings,
yeah, I
so-
don't, I don't need all of them to get the same stuff.
Got it.
So I select who
okay, I see
I
what you're
want
saying.
to get this.
Got it.
And then for this month, I'm going to promote this
Yes.
to that 2,000.
Okay.
And the other 2,000,
Got it. Okay. So you see, you worked the system. I get it.
yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot of inexpensive ways to get your business moving. In the beginning, there are a few different ins and outs that you got to know. You got to know how to connect the systems. You don't want to just dive in because you can get, be all over the place. You want to do that with guidance and kind of zone in or hone in on what it is that you need to attack this month and how you need to put your strategy together to get moving in your business. I have one left. Came out of lunch this morning. Chatwithrobert.com is the best way to do it. All right? Okay. But I do have them just so you can see them. All right? Yeah. All right. Speaking of cards, somebody mentioned Vistaprint. I love Moo.com, and I recommend Moo.com to small business owners for a couple of reasons. I'm going off topic. Moo, M-O-O, Moo.com. I like them because they give a good quality card. Moo.com also has this option where you can put stuff on the back, and they print like different stuff on every card.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so you can, it's just interesting to use, and so I just like the quality of it. It's touch more expensive. You're not going to get 250 cards for $10.
No.
But I personally believe that the impression that you make with people, right or wrong, there's a credibility factor that is attached to that with people. And I've seen business owners that start out and they're really, they're happy. They're like, hey, I started a business. And they give me a card and it says BillyBob@hotmail.com or SweetBrownSugar@hotmail.com. And immediately I say, okay, thanks. Okay? Not somebody I'm probably going to contact with. So, but I do help people with that. So.
You judge them first, then you help them. I'm break them down so you can build them up.
I honestly, I tell a lot of them. I said, look, dude, come here, let me tell you something. I know that. Yeah. So, yeah. Again, if I can be of help, I'd love to be.
Thank you.